And I've been watching this Kamala Harris speech. She's also in San Francisco. I've been watching her speech with increasing outrage, frankly, there in San Francisco. She's yucking it up and being her usual ridiculous self and the nonsense word salads, and she's going on about elephants and goodness knows what. But not at any point narcissistic farce of Kamala Harris's potential run for governor of California has she said a single word about any of the actual issues affecting Californians.
Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago? The one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? Google it if you've not seen it. So that scene has been on my mind. Everybody's asking me, what you've been thinking about these days? Well, so in the video, for those who haven't seen it, here those elephants were. And as soon as they felt the earth shaking beneath their feet, they got in a circle and stood next to each other to protect the most vulnerable. Think about it. What a powerful metaphor. Because we know those who try to incite fear are most effective when they divide and conquer, when they separate the herd, when they try to make everyone think they are alone. But in the face of crisis, the lesson is don't scatter.
Just to add on the Kamala Harris point, I think I speak for everyone at the White House. We encourage Kamala Harris to continue going out and do speaking engagements. You'll hear from the president at 11 o'clock. See you guys later.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and we got to check out a few clips here. I got a compilation. Kamala Harris, she gave her speech. I guess this is the first time she's really jumped out there since losing to President Trump. Let's just say she didn't say a whole lot. She put a foot in her mouth, and I got a couple clips to share with you guys because it's pretty interesting. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Let's get into it.
But sadly, we have seen quite the opposite over these past few months. Now, I know tonight's event happens to coincide with the 100 days after the inauguration, and I'll leave it to others to give a full accounting of what has happened so far. But I will say this. Instead of an administration working to advance America's highest ideals, we are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of those ideals.
This is the lady that was willing to sell out this nation, along with the rest of the Democrats out there. I'm glad she didn't win because based off, what she ran on and based off of what we're seeing from these Democrats right now, who she is going to call out as people who are doing a good job and pushing the agenda of the Democrat Party, it would have been the end of America as we know it. It would have been.
Including congressional leaders like Cory Booker, Chris Van Hollen, Chris Murphy, Jasmine Crockett, Maxwell Frost, AOC, and Bernie Sanders.
I wanted to share that with you guys real quick before we move on, because these are the people that she is bigging up as. These are people fighting for you as Americans. And what we've had the chance to witness from Chris Van Hollen, we've seen him ignore his constituents in Maryland for a guy who shouldn't be here. We've seen some of these other representatives go down to El Salvador on taxpayer dollars to bring an illegal immigrant back and advocate on the behalf of an illegal immigrant. We got a chance to see that. She mentioned Jasmine Crockett, who has not introduced one piece of legislation since she's been in office, earns $175,000. Her law firm earned $26,000, but yet some kind of way she owns 2 properties worth upwards of $9 million. Make that make sense. These are the people that she's been advocating for. A bunch of crooks and a bunch of people who are currently in office doing the bidding of the globalists. And these are people that have shown themselves to be willing to sell out this nation, sell out the American citizens. This is who we're dealing with right here. But I want you guys to see this poll. This is from CNN. This is from CNN about what the people think about Kamala Harris, President Trump, and would there be a change? Or do they think that Kamala Harris should be in office?
Who would be doing a better job as president? Guess who comes out on top? Within the margin of error, but comes out on top. This looks a lot like the election result, right? Trump 45%, 2 points ahead of Harris at 43%. 12% say they'd be doing about the same. But this is the key nugget here. It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote than Kamala Harris. This looks a heck of a lot like the election result. We have just seen this in poll after poll after poll.
The reality is the people that say that in that 12% that say that things would be, they'd be both doing the same. I'm going to disagree with that wholeheartedly just due to the fact that the border had been wide open for 4 years. Now, what we know about Kamala Harris and her stance on the border, she was the border czar who did absolutely nothing about the border. That means that under her watch, they would have allowed another 20 million people to come in this country illegally, undocumented, and they would have did everything that they can to fast track these people to some form of citizenship or something along those lines. So when you look at, the 20 some odd million that they say that came in during the Biden-Harris administration and another 20 plus million or maybe more that would have come in through the Harris-Walz administration, we're talking bringing in 40 to 50 million new people in this country with 300 million citizens right now in this nation. So you're talking about bringing in adding an additional 20 to 25% of the population to this nation. Had they did that, it would have fundamentally changed the country. Doing what they did drove wages down. It cost people jobs. It's borderline bankrupting cities in this country. What do you think would have happened had Kamala Harris won? She would have exacerbated the problem. Let's just keep it real. But let's hear from Stephen Miller.
Thank you. Last night, Kamala Harris delivered her first major speech after losing the election. She attacked Trump personally, attacked the policies. Any comment from the White House on that?
Well, I think it was a great reminder to the American people of just how blessed we all are that the leader sitting in the Oval Office today is President Donald Trump and not President Kamala Harris. It was a helpful reminder of just what a travesty and a tragedy that would have been. It would have been the end of America. And it gives me a chance to bring this whole thing home. If we continued on this road of radical regulation, choking off American energy, sending our supply chains to foreign countries, taxing our economy to death, pushing this cancerous woke ideology on our children, ending merit, ending scientific innovation, ending public safety, allowing, everyone goes to the stores these days, everything's locked up, criminals roam free, law-abiding citizens under the previous administration were punished while gangbangers were given red carpet treatment. Democrats, of course, are still giving gangbangers red carpet treatment. And then the border invasion. If those policies had continued, it would have been the end of the American Republic. And the only thing Americans want to hear from Kamala Harris is an apology for joining Joe Biden. And remember, she was the border czar. Joining Joe Biden in aiding and abetting the invasion of our country. And we're never going to stop talking about this because what they did to this country is unforgivable. It is an eternal stain on the Democrat Party. Every day we read another story. Every day we arrest another alien they let into this country who raped a child, who beat a woman within an inch of her life, who murdered a mom, who murdered a dad, who trafficked drugs into this country, who trafficked fentanyl into this country, who are responsible for dead and slaughtered Americans. And I don't know what's broken in the Washington press corps, that none of that moves them emotionally. The only thing that gets them exercised is, do we need to have more trials for terrorist supporters? Do we need to have more trials for gangbangers? Do we need to have more trials for illegal alien invaders? Even though Congress and the Constitution clearly say that you can expel invaders and illegal aliens quickly, efficiently, and properly.
Stephen Miller's absolutely right. I agree with everything that he said. He is absolutely right. Kamala Harris would have exacerbated the situation. She would not have made things better. She would have actually made things worse. This tariff deal that we got going on, yeah, the markets, are a little shaky right now while they work this out because this is something that is new. This is something, anytime the markets get introduced to something new, you have to expect that it's going to react in a negative way. Because the market reacts to what's happening today. They don't really care about the future. But when Kamala Harris being the borders are allowed anywhere from 11 to 20 some odd million people, you know they had zero interest in closing the border. Zero interest in doing so. And we also know that legacy media, had she won, whatever mistakes, how bad the economy, they would have raised taxes, it would not have mattered. Legacy media would have covered for her, 10 toes down, no different than what they did for President Biden and the way they covered for him. That's the truth.
To incite fear are most effective when they divide and conquer. But in the face of crisis, the lesson is don't scatter.
She had 100 days to come up with something, powerful. Just 100 days to come up with this banger speech, and this is what we got.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, and here's the thing. She appeared in California, in San Francisco. There's speculation she's leaving the door open to run for governor in 2026 because Gavin Newsom is term limited. But at the same time, apparently she's also leaving the door open. Maybe she will run for president again.
It's a great idea.
Her friends say. But she's only really popular in California. So if California picked for the whole country, she might be president. But currently, that's not.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what kind of competition she's going to have. Jake Steinfeld says he might jump in. He'll have the backing of a lot of people. We got Steve Hilton is already in there. He certainly knows how to organize a campaign. I don't think she's that popular. No. I think that she has won these regional races, these small races. I don't think she's really fully been challenged. I mean, I guess they do the jungle primary where, they all go together. Right. So Republicans and Democrats can go the distance. I'm curious to see if anyone's going to step up and challenge her because we see her vulnerability every time she speaks.
Did y'all think it was ironic that she used the elephant analogy? Don't scatter, all come together like those elephants did. Well, the elephant is the symbol of the Republican Party.
Oh, I just realized that.
She's not that popular. And the thing is that California is a loony place, but California is also not a full-fledged representation of the rest of the United States. Matter of fact, people are fleeing that state in droves because it's so crazy. That's a fact. People are fleeing the state in droves because it's so crazy. So could she win California? Maybe. She probably could because there's enough people out there in the liberal strongholds of California, San Diego, LA, San Francisco, the Bay Area. There's enough of them. There's enough loud voices in those strongholds that would override the people that don't live in the major cities that would consider themselves conservatives, that would vote in a different direction. But you would just be getting more of what you already had in Gavin Newsom. I don't know why they would do it, but, hey, who am I? I don't live in California. I have zero interest in doing so. But I got one more clip to share with you guys. Check this out.
This Kamala Harris speech. She's also in San Francisco. I've been watching her speech with increasing outrage, frankly, as this tour that she's doing, getting ready to run for California governor, unfolds. And she's there in San Francisco and she's yucking it up and being her usual ridiculous self and the nonsense word salads, and she's going on about elephants and goodness knows what. But not at any point in this entire narcissistic farce, of Kamala Harris's potential run for governor of California, has she said a single word about any of the actual issues affecting Californians, the crisis that is happening right here in California for working people and working families, directly caused by her party and her policies. The fact that we had new data out just yesterday showing that 35% of Californians cannot afford to meet their basic needs for rent, for food, for medical care. What does she even think about any of that? Nothing. She never talks about it. She has no ideas to do anything about it because, of course, she can't. Her party's policies caused it in the first place. It's all about her. And now she's out there prattling on about federal politics and Trump and whatever, while she's pretending that she can bring the change that California needs. Of course she can't. She's a ridiculous character. She was a disaster as a presidential candidate. If she ran for governor, she would be defending the disaster of Democrat rule, and instead of making these ridiculous speeches, why can't she just get on with it? Stop dilly-dallying around. Come on, Kamala, get in the race or stop going on about it. Let's have a serious policy conversation about how we end the total calamity of Democrat rule and the policies that have caused this human suffering. Let's talk about that instead of elephants.
She can't and she won't because she's in on the grift with the rest of the Democrats. She's in on it. Matter of fact, she'd want more of it. These Democrats out here, man, they're not solution-based people. If anything, they're the people, the problems that we do have actually been caused by them. So they don't want to solve something because they don't see it as a problem. And that's a lot of the reason why she lost to Trump when she was actually hit with hard-hitting questions and asked to come up with solutions or to give, a solution to solve a problem. She didn't have anything. All she had was word salad. And being a woman, being a quote unquote person of color, being someone that is somewhat attractive, it's only going to get you but so far. But this individual, like he said, she is a narcissist and she lacks substance. And she thinks that the three things that I named will be enough to get her over the hump. And if it is, I feel sorry for the state of California. I really do. If that is enough to get her voted in as governor in the state of California, I feel sorry for them because it's not going to get better. It's actually going to get worse. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your man a coffee. Link in the description box below. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so